Crazy to think about. 9 years ago today, May 28, 2011, Barcelona won their fourth Champions League title, beating Manchester United 3-1 at Wembley Stadium. Pedro, Messi, David Villa, the goal scorers for Barcelona. Wayne Rooney, the goal scorer for Manchester United. Craig Burley still with us. He was on co-coms that day. Alejandro Moreno joins the show as well. Craig, start with you. What are your memories of that match?
Well, it was a perfect night at Wembley. It really was a perfect night for playing football. Weather was absolutely beautiful. Pitch was perfect. Set up between two of the biggest teams. And we saw some great goals, including Wayne Rooney's goal, but it was eclipsed by Barcelona's three. I've not seen and I can't remember seeing a team pass the ball as slickly as Barcelona did that night. As the game wore on, they just took total control. And obviously, that midfield of Busquets, Iniesta, and Xavi was legendary. And of course, a younger Lionel Messi, who they stepped off Man United for the second goal. You just can't do that. But I had to remind myself, Pedro with that great first goal, and David Villa, a guy who was here in Major League Soccer as well with the great third goal. It really was a truly tremendous performance from Pep Guardiola's Barcelona.
Ale, was Barcelona's fourth Champions League. It was Messi's third Champions League title. As you look back on it now, does it feel like kind of the height of Messi?
It was definitely the height of Barcelona. That team that they beat in that final, that Manchester United team, was a very good Manchester United team with a lot of good players and a lot of players with a whole lot of talent and great and successful careers. And that day they were made to look pedestrian. They were the sort of team that you thought could dominate a match. Not against that Barcelona team. Manchester United never got close to Barcelona. And I think the 3-1 result kind of paints a picture, but not really. It wasn't even that close. The possession by Barcelona, the inability of Manchester United to get anywhere near the ball or anywhere near Barcelona players to try to pressure. Anytime that they tried to get close, Barcelona just passed the ball on. They kept moving with and without the ball. And it is largely considered the best team that we have seen in the Champions League era. This Barcelona team was outstanding. Now, as to whether it was the height of Messi or not, he was at his very best. But we have seen so many great things from Lionel Messi from there on out that it's hard to say, well, that was the height of his career. I would suggest that it was the height of Barcelona. We saw a whole lot of great things from Lionel Messi years after that as well.
Craig, the possession stats, 68% possession for Barcelona. Even that almost seems generous from my memory of the match.
Yeah, but, and sometimes we throw out these possession stats and they're kind of meaningless in a way, but not on this occasion because it was possession with a purpose. And I always like to say that because, possession without a purpose and without a plan is pretty mundane and pretty pedestrian, but it was a real purpose about the way they passed the ball, the way they moved it around, the little triangles in midfield, how they stretched Manchester United. And as Ali said, they were made to look, and I'm being nice here again, pedestrian. Look, the one thing I would say about this, and apart from the 90 minutes plus of the match where it was clearly a magnificent performance, the story for me was seeing Sir Alex Ferguson in the tunnels, in the tunnel in Man United at Wembley after the game. Not personally seeing him, but walking through after my media duties to see him being ushered to a press conference, and he walked past me about 10 yards in front, and he looked absolutely shell-shocked because here was a guy who had built some of the greatest teams in Europe, certainly in England, over a 25-year period. He was renowned as one of the great managers of his generation. And he just saw his team, which was an excellent team, been taken apart. And he really looked shell-shocked going to that press conference. And I think that told the story. He knew he could be beaten on that night at Wembley. But I think he was absolutely gobsmacked in the manner in which he was beaten, which was, to be given a lesson in how to play the game, which ultimately Barcelona did.
Ale, have we seen a better team than 2011 Barcelona since then?
I don't think so. Not in the way that team just worked together and how in sync they were and the movements with and without the ball and how everybody knew their roles and knew exactly where they had to be. That communication and that feel that you get for your team and your teammates, it's something special. And what we saw from that team is some of the best players in the world at their very best at the very same time. And when you put those things together, then you see that sort of performance. And it's easy to go back and watch this game and remind yourself of how great that Barcelona team really was, and how talented they were, and how good the movement of the ball was, and how much of a clinic this was in terms of Barcelona just having idea, purpose, talent, execution of those ideas, execution of that talent, and then maximizing the full potential of a team. That is a beautiful thing to see. And to see it on a Champions League final makes it even that much better.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.